Good morning. I'm sorry. These last 2 days, all I wanted to do was sleep. It's like my body is telling me to sleep. And I guess it's preparing me for next week. But I am so sorry. And I know I said I was gonna try to do morning coffee, and for 2 days I just couldn't open my eyes. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Hi Bambi, hi Christoph, hi Wisco Gal. Hi, Snuggle Bunny. Good morning. So, oh my God, there is so much going on. The Nazaya Harris case, Jarvis Butts has been held over for trial. We're going to get to what the judge had to say. I also have the text messages between Nazia, and Jarvis. I have those. Hi, Drea. I know you're on your way to work. Look, good morning. And we have an 8-year-old boy that's missing. We have an update on the fires. But last night, when I woke up, I had a message. And I did. And then they called me. And I understand that Cooch went live. I haven't watched it yet. And I was hoping to get up earlier to watch it so I can talk about it. But undoubtedly, she outed, I guess, Geneva, um, sock on Reddit, whatever that, well, her sock on Reddit. Uh, but I understand that she had my name in her mouth. Don't know why. Don't care about her. Don't give a shit about it. But in Geneva, if you want to pop over here and tell me what you have to say, I will drop the link for you. So that way you can say what you have to say to me. And let me drop this link real quick. And I'm not going to go over and read what she had to say on Reddit, but I'm sure that Cooch discussed some of it. But there's the link, Geneva. And anybody else that feels the need to want to say anything to me, there's the link right there. Hit it. Come on up. There's the link. Bambi, you're in the chat. Um, you posted something on your community tab because I went in and I saw I missed your live. You posted something on your community tab and you have someone's phone number up there. Not sure if you realize that or not. Good morning, Sarah motherfucking Z. How are you? Good morning. So I'm not sure if you realize that or not. And I'm taking it um, from what I'm reading. It's supposed to be Brooklyn, right? So not sure if you realize, but the phone number is showing on your community tab. Okay. So how was everyone's weekend? I'm just seriously, I feel better. But for some reason, my hearing, my left ear, uh, won't pop. It's like I have this, I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. But my cold is just about gone. I still have a little coughing that I'm doing, but not as much as I was doing before. So I want to get into Nazir Harris. And you may remember she's the 13-year-old girl that disappeared, never came home from school. I discussed it a few months back. She disappeared last year on January 9th, 2024. Yes, she disappeared on January 9th, 2024. She was never seen from again, never heard from. They found her jacket, one Nike tennis shoe, and what else is there they found? But they're thinking that her 41-year-old uncle, is it her uncle, cousin, whatever, actually killed her. And I do have the text messages between them. Good morning, Jennifer Positivity. Good morning, Heidi and Chad. Chat, listening while I'm driving to work. I hope you have a great day. I think I'm getting some energy back, Jennifer. I'm gonna vacuum and stuff today. I'm gonna dust. I did water my plants last night. I just seriously, all I wanted to do was sleep. It's like my body. All I want to do is sleep, 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 sleep. And this morning I woke up right around 4:15, and I've been up ever since. So I guess I'm getting ready to get back into my routine again. I guess not looking forward to it, but I'm gonna do it. Um, Let me pull up this. Hold on a second. I'm gonna put the So love me. Okay, let me turn this. So this is Nazir Harris. Okay, I just want to get to the text messages, and I'm gonna pause on the messages, and I'm gonna let you hear what the judge had to say. Okay, this is. Hold on. All right, that's the first message right there. Started September 27th, 2022. Okay, let's get to what the judge had to say. And this is in Michigan, and the judge really ripped them, all of them, a new asshole. So I have been following this.
This case is distinguishable. This is a case regarding a trial. And the one thing I had highlighted in pink was the quote.
I won't overdo it, I promise you, Jennifer. I won't.
Bloodstains were a weapon leading defendant to Joyce's death. In this case, we don't.
This part is kind of low, but then she gets a little
I
louder.
do agree. This is a circumstantial case, and circumstantial evidence is sufficient for a bind over and even conviction. Today is January 9th, 2025, exactly 1 year, from the day Naziah Harris disappeared. Before I get into the charges, and the main charge of premeditated first
Look how she's shaking.
I have to speak on Naziah Harris and the community who failed her. And I'm only presented with certain evidence. I don't know the whole story. The attorneys know more than me, the family knows more than me. But from what I have heard over the last 4 days and 5 days total, is that several people failed her. I don't know where her mother is. I don't know anything other than that she was forced to live in a home where she was not protected or given the adequate attention and love. I don't know where her father is. I don't have any mention of him in her life, no presence. To Cordell, aka King, and all the men who saw Jarvis Butts hanging out and always around these young girls, including Naziah, and his 9-year-old daughter going up to the shop to clean up his shop. The school counselor who never showed up, or the person who was supposed to show up if that counselor was absent, after Naziah was on the floor on the day she went missing, saying that she needed to speak to someone and speak to a counselor.
She was on the floor, laying on the floor, saying she needed to speak to a counselor at the school. No one showed up for this young girl.
There's no mention of CPS.
Good morning, Party Rock.
But I wonder what their involvement was over the years, because this was not just a 1-year thing. There are text messages at least from 2022. To her adoptive grandmother, Annette Harris, whose testimony, in my opinion, was very questionable. I understand why the people put her on the stand to establish Naziah's residence and the houses on Bedford and the regular routine, to establish also that Naziah was not a runaway child, that she was not a bad kid. I do believe she adopted Naziah. I do believe that she had 6 kids in the house. I believe that Naziah had on a dark hoodie the day she went missing, and that she had on red and black Nikes that day. What is hard to believe is that the defendant never came into the house as she testified. And there was also a minor that testified that he did as well. Text messages that show between him and Neziah that he did in the basement, saying he was going to the shower, stealing her panties. He was always lurking around that house and asking for Janiyah and Zaniyah, from what I know. I even thought about the breakfast routine and saying that all the kids like eating breakfast at school. Did they have a choice? I don't know. But to always send those girls up there to clean up the shop raises questions. And how were there two women in that house who had birthed children themselves who did not notice that Neziah was pregnant, and I believe she was, and not having her period anymore? But then after hearing text messages today,
she said there were two women in that house that to not realize that Neziah wasn't having her period is ridiculous. And the fact that she had to always ask Jarvis, the man that was molesting her, to get her pads is sad.
Begging Jarvis for pads as if she didn't have anyone else to get them for her. And what stood out the most was when Annette Harris stood on the stand, and she learned around 6 p.m. that Neziah did not come home from school, and said she looked around for her and decided to wait until the next morning to call the police. Without a tear, without emotion, or any expression of being devastated. And to her Aunt Shannon, who also showed no emotion, expression of being devastated from Neziah going missing. She stated that she had friends help look for Neziah, but was directed to just wait until the morning to call the police. A grown woman who likely suspected something strange going on didn't feel the need to call the police either. They were both able to go to sleep at night without hearing from Neziah or having any indication that she was coming home at night.
Exactly. I couldn't
And
sleep.
of course, the defendant, who I will get to in a minute. I don't know who else failed Neziah, but the community did. As far as the people establishing probable cause, I will focus on count 1, as it's been stated that there is no contention with counts 2 and 3. In count 3, I will amend based off of the motion and the testimony I heard that Neziah was 12 and not 13 at the time that Jarvis Butts had sexual intercourse with her.
She was 12 years old when he first started having sexual intercourse with this girl.
The prosecution is correct. You do not have to have a body to establish first-degree premeditated murder. It would have been a much shorter exam had her body been found, but this is where we are. In the last 365 days, no text messages. We all heard today and yesterday that she was very active and frequently texted. No social media for a year. We heard through testimony that she was also active on social media. No phone calls, which she was also able to do according to testimony. No physical sighting of her by anyone. She never came back to school. No one has seen her. Medical records dated from July 2014 to October 2023 indicated that she had no life-threatening medical issues that would lead to a natural cause of death. The black hoodie found in the area of 7 Muhlenberg with her DNA and blood on it. The holes in the hoodie consistent with some sort of struggle, violence, or weapon being used. And we know that there were no holes in that hoodie when she wore it to school. We saw a picture of her in a black hoodie on her last day that everyone saw her. I do believe her grandma testified truthfully about the sweatshirt that she had on and that it was practically new. And the border agent who said that no evidence of animals would have destroyed the clothing or the shoes to possibly lead to animals tearing up that hoodie. The clear glasses found in the blue Nissan the day after she went missing. The behavior of the defendant when he snatched those glasses. They looked exactly like the glasses she had on in her last picture, according to the witness. The shoes that her brother described as the same shoes that were found also in the area of 7 Muhlenberg near the hoodie. While this is still probable cause, the evidence all points to Jarvis Butts. His locations, him being seen with her last, the abortion searches, the abrupt silence between the two of them in text messages, and the constant lies he told throughout the entire investigation. And they were proven to be lies with text messages and other testimony. We may never know what happened, but from what I heard today and over the last 4 or 5 days, it appears he intended to perform what he thought was a do-it-yourself abortion on Naziah, then went south, and instead of seeking medical attention for her, he intentionally killed her and tried his best to cover it up.
A do-it-yourself abortion on a 13-year-old girl. Get the fuck out of here.
As much as I want her to be alive today, there is at least probable cause to show and believe that she is dead and that she was murdered by Jarvis Butts. Mr. Butts, stand up. You've been sitting over there for 4 days with your head down, hidden between and behind your attorneys with your mask on and taking vigorous notes. I want you to pay attention and listen to everything I have to say. I have been trying to figure out for the last 5 days, you. At one point, I thought you were cognitively impaired in the beginning of this exam. And then maybe you had the brain of a 10-year-old, and that's why you were doing such things. But as I heard more and more testimony, you're just a true definition of a pedophile. Watching you laugh and brag about all the women you have with different women and the children and the girlfriends, and making babies to groom them and having them in your presence, cleaning up, quote, cleaning up your shop, and the little girls around you, has landed you here today. You groomed Naziah. You played mind games with her. We all heard that. You controlled her emotionally. She was exposed to so much at such a young age. The text messages between you two were disgusting to hear. And to think that she had you saved in her phone as bae for life. Naziah deserves so much more. And while I mentioned other people that failed her, Jarvis Butts, you were the monster in this whole picture.
A monster.
She did deserve love from her parents and everyone who was in her life. She was ignored, she was neglected, and you took complete advantage of that. She wanted someone to love her, and she will never know what that feels like. Your children deserve more. As much as defense counsel has raised issues on count 1, all that has done is raise the question of fact for the trier of fact, which means that this will be for a jury or a judge to hear at 3rd Circuit. I pray for the healing of all the victims and the young girls and possibly boys who have come into contact with you. As a community, we should look at this case as a prime example of how much work we have to do
Hi, Christoph.
when it comes to protecting our children and especially our black girls. I pray for closure and healing for all those who have been traumatized by you. And for you, Jarvis Butts, I wish you a speedy trial and that justice be delivered. Your bind over date is January 16th at 9:05 a.m. Anything else for the record?
No, for the legal judge, thank you.
Not for defense.
Let's go.
Do the right thing and tell us where she's at, please. I'm sorry, Judge. Just do it, Jarvis.
Where is she at, Jarvis?
Just tell us. Judge, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to disrespect your court.
You all can turn off the cameras, please.
So the judge didn't believe a lot of stuff that the grandmother had to say. Here is
The next page includes searches that I located inside that Google return that we received from Google.
Okay, and
this is talking about his locations on the day of
fairly
her murder.
accurately depict what it is you received back from Google as it relates to a search warrant for Jarvis Butts 82 at gmail.com.
Yes.
Okay, we'll discuss that later. I want to show you these text messages. So let me get these messages back up here again so you can see them for yourselves.
So love me,
Hold on.
love me tonight.
I have to turn this music off and it's not letting me turn it off. Okay, let's look at the messages. He says, Harris, this is Nazia. She says, come on. She said, you okay? Harris, where are we doing it at your church? But you tell me. Harris, the basement? Harris, you sure? She says, our job. Okay? She's asking him where they're going to do it at. June 5th. But I'm at your house. Harris, damn, we were just there. Harris, you bet not be in my room. He said, Harris says, I need another phone. She says, I miss you, but I stole your panties. June 24th, 2023. Send me some pics, please. This is him talking to her. Let me pause it. I stole your panties. You send me some pics. Harris, don't you still got the pics I sent? But no, I will send some. Are you naked yet? This is June 27th, 2023. Are you naked yet? Harris, no, I don't want to get naked. Harris, are you mad I didn't get naked? This is her asking him. September 26th. Bae, you up? Harris, yay. My period haven't came at all. Hello, you there? But what do you mean? He wants to know what does she mean? A period doesn't come. Harris, I can't have no money. You go get one. Harris, you ain't scared to get a plan B. Get a pregnancy test and bring it later today. Just act like you have to use the bathroom. Harris, please. Harris, will you do it? Harris, hello? But Jarvis, this is Jarvis saying, okay, he's gonna do it. Okay? This is him saying he's gonna do it. I just want to talk. I really don't want to lose you. This is Harris talking to him. Harris, can we talk later? Yes or no? November 27th. This is Harris. I don't want your problem, but I need you to bring me what I need tonight. It's hard doing all this gym shit with this baby. And if I don't do him, I'm going to get a F. Okay? Meaning she's going to fail gym if she doesn't do her stuff in gym. This is the final text, January 9th, 2024. Harris, don't forget, be there before 3. I will let you know when I'm leaving the school. If you're not there, I will wait. Harris, this is her. Send okay if you see the message so I can delete your number. But, okay. This is 13-year-old Nazera Harris. Good morning, Adam. Good morning, Sophie. I didn't see you come in. Hi, James Simpson. Good morning. Isn't there some stuff? This is a 13-year-old girl with a 40, he was 40 at the time, 41. Those are the text messages between them. That's the messages. This grown-ass man was sending to this child. Now, her younger sister testified that she saw him having sex with Nazira and that he was always touching on her, and he even made a pass at her. I was like, these poor kids. I said, these poor kids, they've seen so much. Hold on. I'm gonna get you this part. I want you to hear what was on the stuff. Okay. Let me go back. I think it starts right about here.
It's Drink Me and Abort Your Baby, the herbal abortion tea.
Hold on.
So the first, you want me to read the ones that are just highlighted, or you want me to start at the top of here?
Her uncle.
So,
The ones that are highlighted.
okay.
Hi, Zelda.
Just start with the ones that are highlighted.
Yep, so this search was December 9th, 2023 at 3:32 UTC time. So you would actually have to subtract 5 hours, which would make it the night of December 8th. And the site is, what's visited, it's Drink Me and Abort Your Baby, the herbal abortion tea.
These
by
are the
Maya.
sites he visited.
Okay. And what about the next one after that?
There is a site that's visited on December, it says here December 10th, 2023 at 9:32 p.m. UTC, so -5. And the site visited is plannedparenthood.org/learn/abortion/the abortion pill.
And
next-
yes, the next
The
one.
next search is immediately after that, so December 10th at 9:32 p.m. UTC, the abortion pill. Get the facts about medication abortion. There is a search that was conducted before that on December 10th, 2023 at 9:31 p.m. UTC. And that site is plannedparenthood.org/blog/can I use herbs to have an abortion at home.
And the next
The
one.
next one is December 10th, 2023 at 9:31 p.m. UTC. Can I use herbs to have an abortion at home? Planned Parenthood.
And the next one.
The next one is December 10th, 2023 at 9:36 p.m. UTC, so again, -5 hours. And that site is, it's ansirh.org, research, over-counter medication abortion. Search December 10th, 2023 at 9:36 p.m. Over-the-counter medication abortion, and that's from that same place before, ANSIRH. December 10th, 2023 at 9:32. Planned Parenthood, abortion, the abortion pill. How do I have an abortion using only misoprostol, misoprostol.
So there's
The
no
next
doubt
search-
this girl was pregnant.
December
He
10th,
must have found.
2023 at 9:32. Planned Parenthood, learn abortion, the abortion pill. So it's like the same, back and forth to the same site.
Morning,
On
Zelda.
December 11th at 11:43 p.m. UTC, so -5 hours. Specifically is searched is, can I drink red antifreeze? Again, that same item is searched again right after the same time, 11:43 on December 11th, 2023.
She was going to drink antifreeze.
And I believe that's it.
Okay.
The Detroit man charged with the murder of 13-year-old Naziah Harris was back in court today as witness statements continue with the preliminary hearing. Thank you for joining us. I'm Terrence Friday.
And I'm Meredith Bruckner. Harris's
gonna
body
drink
was never
antifreeze.
recovered after disappearing nearly a year ago. But a witness testified yesterday that she saw 42-year-old defendant Jarvis Butts with Harris in Ypsilanti the evening she went missing. CBS News Detroit's Jack Springate joins us from outside the 36th District Courthouse in Detroit to tell us how phone records are shedding more light on Butts' whereabouts following Naziah's disappearance.
Well, an expert in phone records forensics and cell tower mapping delivered a compelling timeline of where they tracked Butts' phone the day Naziah disappeared, as well as the following 36 hours. A little after 4 p.m. on January 9th, 2024, Butts' phone was tracked to his shop on Connor Street, according to the expert's analysis. Between that time and a little before 7:30 p.m., the data shows his phone's location heading towards Ypsilanti, consistent with what one witness said yesterday when she claimed seeing Naziah with Butts the day she went missing. Further analysis shows more activity from his cell phone near his shop once again. This time it's traced around 8:22 and 9 p.m. on January 9th. The witness then testified to Butts' phone activity stemming from the area near the Park Crest Inn. That's what two witnesses described yesterday as a place Butts would take other women to have sex. The report shows that these calls occurred after 10:35 p.m. on the day Naziah disappeared. Another exhibit shows Butts' phone activity more than 24 hours later. This time they tracked activity between 11:40 p.m. on January 10th to 1:30 a.m. on the 11th near the area of 7 Mile and Berg Road.
Now remember, she went missing January 9th. She never came home from school, ever came home from school. So they're tracking so on January 10th, he was at 7 Mile and Berg between 11:40 and 11:59.
This is the same location crews searched for Naziah's body 1 year ago. They never found her, but they did find a jacket, pink onesie, and black Nike shoes that match what witnesses described her wearing when she went missing.
We were responding to a missing person.
What was your role in searching the 7 Mile and Berg area?
I was searching the riverbank of the River Rouge. We were searching south along the bank. I was on the east side of the bank in the 7 Mile Berg area.
We then heard shocking testimony from one of Naziah's cousins, who is younger than 10 years old. A warning, this information could be disturbing to some viewers. She alleges being in the room with another cousin while Butts took advantage and had sex with Naziah. Disturbingly, this wasn't the only time she alleges witnessing Butts coercing sex on her cousins. She even says he tried to make advances towards her at one point, but she was able to say no after recognizing what he was trying to do. Unfortunately, that's because she's seen him act this way towards her cousins before, who are also Butts' nieces. One of Naziah's biggest advocates and adult cousins described seeing Butts in court after hearing these allegations.
I don't have nice words, necessarily for that. But obviously, I have to be strong for my family. I have to be strong for Naziah, and I'm putting my trust in the justice system.
And it doesn't get much more difficult to hear witness testimony than what we heard from that young girl this afternoon. We'll be here for another day of witness testimony starting tomorrow, and we'll be bringing you updates starting at 10 a.m. throughout the day. For now, reporting outside the 36th District Courthouse, I'm Jack Springate, CBS News Detroit.
So it was her cousin that witnessed him having sex with her, and he tried to do the same thing to her. What is wrong with this family? Now, the judge explicitly said the grandmother's testimony was unbelievable on certain things. When she said that Jarvis never really came to the house, she was lying. There were 6 kids in that home. He was always around these young girls. As he said, having them clean the shop. No, they never found her body. She went missing January 9th, 2024. And to the date of her disappearance is when the judge held him over for trial for her murder. She held him over for trial for murder. Won't tell where the remains are at all. He murdered that young girl, is what he did. The judge said the family failed her. She had her aunts in the home. And you mean to tell me, she said, no one can tell that this young girl wasn't having her period. That whole family. Her mother wasn't in her life. Her father wasn't in her life. Her grandmother adopted her. And the judge said she was neglected. Exactly, Zelda. The young cousin testified that she seen him make passes at other cousins. He made a pass at her. She told him no. She said she witnessed him having sex with Neziah. What the hell? They were doing it in the basement. They were doing it at the church. They were doing it at his job. She was looking for affection. She was looking for affection. And he was giving her that attention that she wanted. It's sad. It's very sad. But then we have a prison guard. Hold on. I'm going to show you this one. There's a prison guard that was held hostage in Ard, and now they're suing. They're suing. You're not safe any damn where. Nowhere.
Officer sharing in her own words what she says was the worst night of her life, being sexually assaulted and held at gunpoint for hours by a convicted killer and rapist inside her workplace.
She's now suing the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. We want to warn you, some of the details may be difficult to hear. KCRA 3's Michelle Bandura explains what happened.
Put my trigger warning
The
on.
lawsuit against the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation outlines the ordeal experienced by Correctional Officer Katie Jackson.
My life, along with my children, my family, and my fellow correctional officers, was threatened with death if I did not cooperate.
The mother of three thought she was going to be killed on the job January 20th, 2024, while working the evening shift at Sierra Conservation Center.
There were a lot of failed security measures within that institution that night, a lot of them. And it's heartbreaking because it could have easily been prevented, and it wasn't.
The facility houses low and medium security inmates, many who train for the firefighter program. Violent offenders are not supposed to stay there. Jackson's lawyers say Robert Lawrence Ransom Jr. should have never been transferred to Jamestown because of his violent background as a killer and rapist.
The California model failed. That's why we're here. It failed in a horrific manner.
The lawsuit states during the evening count, all inmates were accounted for and said to be secured in their cells. In reality, the document says Ransom was concealed within a laundry cart, and officers inexcusably failed to detect Ransom, declaring the cart clear. Lawyers called this a dereliction of duty. Jackson says, learning the officer's routines, Ransom disguised himself as an officer, and she mistakenly let him into the control booth.
What ensued after an inmate gained access to a highly restricted area was 4 hours of the most unimaginable horrors.
My son used to work in those control towers before he went overseas. And there are so many prisoners in there, but he worked at a jail, which is like 2 years. If you're serving 2 years or less, you're transferred there. What they're saying is that this guy should have never been trained, because it's supposed to be, there are certain jails. If you have non-violent criminals, they're sent there. If you have violent criminals, they're sent someplace else. He was violent, and he was sent to this facility. He should have never been sent there.
I was strangled. I was held hostage at gunpoint, and I was raped multiple times.
Jackson says she convinced Ransom she would bring in drugs and weapons and convinced him to return to his cell. She says supervisors questioned her for 6 hours before going to the hospital, treating her as a suspect and not a victim. but she hopes the lawsuit will change the culture behind bars.
You are undermined constantly at every corner, and the inmates essentially have more rights and more power than you do as correctional officers.
In Sacramento, Michelle Bandur, KCRA.
Yes, they do. They have more rights than the guards that are there. They can spit at you, they can throw piss at you, shit at you, whatever. You are not allowed to touch them. You're not allowed to touch them. I understand why they treated her as a criminal, as a suspect, because of all the other guards that have helped these guys escape. And there's been many. This woman was killed, what was it, last year? After she helped this criminal escape. And they shot her. Married, kids, didn't care. She risked everything for a fucking criminal.
The Tuolumne County attorney also filed 11 felonies against Ransom. He is already serving a life sentence with parole for the Los Angeles County crimes. He's expected in court next month. The CDCR would not comment on the lawsuit.
We're now in the third week of the search for an 8-year-old girl from Durant.
Yes, Clara Robinson was swept away by floodwaters on Christmas Eve after her family's SUV crashed into a ditch in Sherman, Texas. Clara's father, Will Robinson, died in the crash trying to save her. 4 others were rescued. News 4's Sydney Batzloff joins us now with the latest on this search and how Oklahomans are also helping out. Sydney.
Heather, Kevin, today marks day 16 of the search for Clara Robinson. Members from the Southeast Division of the Oklahoma Disaster Task Force spent the weekend helping search for her. Despite the winter weather, crews are committed to bringing closure to the family.
As the search for missing 8-year-old Clara Robinson enters its third week, the same goal remains.
And that's to find Clara.
This past weekend, members of the Southeast Division of the Oklahoma Disaster Task Force deployed to Sherman with boat and dive teams, human remains detection dogs, sonar devices, and more.
It's an evidence-based search at this point, so you just wanted to make sure that every stone was unturned, everything was looked over. It wasn't a quick, hasty search.
The Oklahoma team covered about 15 miles down the creek, and while they didn't find Clara, the Sherman Police Department says the data left.
She looks just like her dad. He lost his life trying to save her.
Behind will continue to help with the search.
We brought in using some mapping software that was able to track every individual on the ground and track them in real time.
The focus now turns to using equipment to go through large piles of debris.
They are not easily accessible from roadways or anything like that. So we're working on some engineering plans. This is going to be kind of a longer process to get that done. It may take us several days.
In the meantime, crews will explore areas of the creek bank that may have caved in.
We had two rainstorms kind of about just a few hours apart or a few days apart, and that could have caused a cave-in, and that could be why we haven't been able to find her yet.
The weather is creating challenges for search efforts. While temperatures are at or below freezing, dive teams cannot go in the water. And with the anticipated snow tomorrow, Sherman Police Department says they have a contingency plan in place, but they're hoping the weather won't be as bad as it seems.
Neighborhoods wiped off the map. Homes.
Hold on, let me just stop this. It's been 8 days. She's 8. No, it's been 3 weeks. Sorry. And they haven't found her. And Empress, I'm reading that by a miracle. I watched that movie where these kids were out on the boat and they were playing on this this inflated thing, and then it took off, and they took, what was it? I think it was like 5 days, and then they finally found this little girl, and she was alive. And I keep thinking, just maybe, but with the temperatures and with the water they said was freezing, the divers can't get in there. I keep hoping and praying this little girl got somewhere safe or something, and I just don't see it. I just don't. Good morning, Heath. Oh, I missed you guys too. Thank you. So, They're speculating now on what caused the fires in LA. Well, not LA, but California. Who at YouTube do I need to complain to about these ads? I don't know. It is not showing me ads being put in. And I'm looking at it. Hold on, let me play this.
Reduced to piles of ash. Every day
Hey,
it
Sox,
gets
you
more
know
grim.
what YouTube is trying
And the
to do.
death toll keeps
They're trying to
rising.
get people to get
24 are now confirmed dead, and many more still missing.
Good morning,
Forecasters
DJ.
estimate the damage to be more than $250 billion. This would be costlier than Katrina. And the Palisades fires are still only just 13% contained. Wind gusts are predicted to kick up, and firefighters are bracing for explosive fire growth. This isn't over yet. And the looting isn't stopping. At least 29 fire looters have been arrested, including these 4 fiends caught in Santa Monica.
What fiends?
One thief breaking into homes in Pacific Palisades was dressed as a fireman when he was apprehended. Nothing is sacred. Jewels, precious heirlooms. Even someone's Emmy was stolen. And remember the guy with the blowtorch last week who was lighting fire to Christmas trees and garbage cans? Turns out he was an illegal alien. His name's Juan. Bandits and arsonists are preying upon this devastated community while it's still smoldering. And residents are gripped by fear and rumors. Here's actress Whitney Cummings.
This is a real text that I just received from a friend of mine about the fires. Some of the neighbors caught a guy setting more fires on the back of our hill. They chased him away. They called 911. I think they caught the guy recently in Woodland Hills trying to put gasoline in sewers. It's happening all over.
Police haven't confirmed this, but there's a sense of every man for himself in Southern California. Some more fortunate families are hiring private firefighters, and actor David Spade's announcing bounties on arsonists.
What?
In California, and people are saying there's guys lighting fires out there, make this worse. They just caught somebody, we're pretty sure was lighting fires, walking on with a blowtorch. They let them go. So if you can find someone lighting a fire and you catch somebody and you can get the cops to bust them and throw them in jail, I'll give you $5,000. So keep your eyes peeled and do what you can out there.
The social contract's been shattered. The government isn't able to help the people it's sworn to protect. Biden wrote a blank check and left on his legacy tour.
Okay.
No one knows where the VP is. Kamala's home state's California. She lives in LA. They say she could be the next governor. It's like she disappeared. Police just caught 2 sketchy men casing Kamala's house in Brentwood after.
Excuse me. She lives in California. She just disappeared. She's in D.C. doing her duties as the vice president. So was she supposed to be there to stop the fires? I'm trying to understand your way of thinking here. How the fuck did she disappear? You assholes.
Someone called 911. Here's the latest on what caused the fire. Nothing definitive yet, but the Washington Post says the Palisades blaze may have originally started from fireworks on New Year's Eve.
And you know what? I was thinking the same thing. I was there for New Year's Eve and all of these fireworks were going off. I was thinking the same thing. I know in Texas, when we would do fireworks, you're not allowed to do them inside of Houston, okay? But they have to, the state does a fireworks thing downtown. But you can do fireworks in the surrounding cities. So we would wet our house, the roof, everything, the grass, and everybody, you'll see them out there that day, and they're hosing, they're wetting the roofs and everything. But normally it'll drizzle, and this went on for like 6 years. It'll drizzle right before nightfall, but we would always wet the roof. I would move my car all the way to the back. I would wedge it between the house and the garage, and I would put it back there. I wouldn't leave it in that driveway. I would move it. I wouldn't put it in the garage because just in case it caught on fire, but I would wedge it between my back door because the garage was detached, and I would pull my car up there. I would do this every single year. But we and the neighbors around us would always wet the roofs and everything else, make sure they're soaked.
Firefighters put it out, and it may have reignited days later. Other reports say downed power lines
Wait a minute. They canceled your flood insurance. They canceled fire insurance in California 2 or 3 months before these fires started. Damn.
sparked the inferno. And arson hasn't been ruled out.
Empress, I haven't.
The governor
forgotten
says he can't get a straight answer out of
I've just been
anybody.
traveling and then I was sick.
I want to get the answers. And I'll be candid with you, I wasn't getting straight answers.
Yeah.
I watched the press conference. I met with some of those leaders. We had my team start talking to local leaders, saying what's going on. Our state.
And you weren't getting straight answers from
I was
local
getting
leaders.
different answers. When you start getting different answers, then I'm not getting the actual story.
The governor doesn't have a
He doesn't look like he's got a whole lot of gel in his hair. How dare you, Mel Gibson, tell him stop using as much gel? Doesn't look like he has a whole lot of gel in his hair, Mel. I think you're jealous because Newsom is better looking than you are.
strong grasp of what's happening and keeps passing the buck to the locals. But he's out in front of the cameras every day.
We're dealing with a myriad of issues. I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in.
Why is the governor shimmying around like that with
Yes,
a
he
smile
is.
on
He's
his face? What
shimmying.
kind of presentation is that? Why does he look so gleeful when he's talking about land speculators? It's getting so bizarre that NBC is having to call Gavin out for spewing misinformation.
I don't know what he's referring to when he talks about the Delta smelt and reservoirs. The reservoirs are completely full of the state reservoirs here in Southern California. That mis and disinformation, I don't think advantages or aids any of us.
We do know, though, from reporting here locally that one reservoir that serves the Palisades was not full.
And that's exactly what triggered my desire to get the investigation to understand what was happening with that local reservoir. That was
It
not
was taken down for repairs. You didn't know the reservoir was being repaired. It was for maintenance. Okay, Newsom? It was taken out 2 months before for maintenance. That was made clear. All right, I'm getting ready to, I'm looking at you in a different light now.
not a state system reservoir, which the president-elect was referring to as it relates to the Delta
He's
and
very
somehow
handsome.
connecting the Delta smelt to this fire, which is inexcusable because it's inaccurate, also incomprehensible to anyone that understands water policy in the state.
Notice how Gavin doesn't get into the details. Empty reservoirs, reservoirs not being built, budget cuts, lawsuits to save the smelt. All that's true. Gavin destroyed dams and then bragged about it.
You know, the Klamath River once supported one of the largest runs of salmon on the western United
Klamath
States.
River.
And for decades, dams along the Klamath River blocked salmon from migrating, damaging our ecosystems and hurting native communities who rely on these fish. By removing the dams, we're helping to restore salmon, steelhead, and lamprey populations, restoring, get this, 400 miles of historic spawning habitat, bringing life back to the river, supporting commercial and recreational
Well, he was
fishing
wrong
jobs,
for doing that.
and honoring our commitments to
Is
tribal
that what they're
nations.
saying?
California didn't have enough water and firemen to put out the fire. They had a 5-day warning about record wind gusts. The mayor was in Africa. Gavin Newsom is trying to tell you that California was prepared. And it's all because of climate change. This is too big of a disaster to cover up. Here's a Free Press reporter who just got inside the bone-dry Palisades Reservoir. Watch this.
This was supposed to be the water to put out the Palisades fire. This is the Santa Ynez Reservoir. It's the water supply basically for the Palisades. When they first started fighting the Palisades fire, they ran out of water extremely quickly. Wednesday, 3 a.m., they were basically out. And there's been a lot of talk on why this happened. So how long has this reservoir been empty for?
Since February of last year. There
Oh my
was
God, wait a
no
minute.
communication.
February of last year, they said it was taken down for maintenance. So they're saying from February of last year, this reservoir was empty? Get the fuck out of here.
From the Department of Water and Power to LAFD that there was a water supply issue.
The firefighters, when they started fighting the fires, no one informed them that the
Pam.
reservoir was empty.
What's worse, misinformation or mismanagement? But the ladies of The View say it's racist to report on what the governor's doing.
Who I don't applaud is someone like Jesse Waters on Fox News. This is what he said. He blamed LA fires on diversity. He said that California's woke politics and DEI are the reasons for the fires because Newsom has been tearing down dams because Native Americans, but he called them Indians, wanted some of the river back so they could catch salmon. And Gavin didn't just knock down one dam for the Indians, he knocked them all down. He knocked down 4 of the dams. I'm sorry, this is stolen land, first of all, okay? California is stolen land. Second of all, that's part of what always happens. These dams, there's preservation of the dam. So that was just complete, not only misinformation, but it was racist.
Zelda.
DEI didn't cause the fire, but it distracted the state from preparing to fight it.
How the fuck do you think DEI did that? That is the dumbest shit I have ever fucking heard. It's the diversity in employment. How did they cause a fire? You people are so fucking stupid. Shit, I just pulled the muscle in my head. Sorry.
The LA water chief, Janice Quiones, who makes $750,000 a year, says her number one priority wasn't water.
You call it powered by equity, and I know that it's been really important for the DWP to put an equity lens on everything.
Yes. Yeah, and that's the number one thing that attracted me to this role. It's important to me that everything we do, it's with an equity lens and social justice and making sure that we right the wrongs that we've done in the past from an infrastructure perspective and that we...
So the reporter is saying that diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is DEI, caused these fires. Got you. Okay.
Involve the community in that process, and this utility is serious about it, is authentic about it, and so I'm just super excited to be part of that movement.
It's about priorities. The water chief was focused on DEI. The mayor of LA, Karen Bass, was in Africa, even though she promised voters that she'd never travel internationally as mayor. And here she is in Ghana.
So she's in Africa. The mayor, okay, she's in Africa, and it's her fault too that the fire started. Got it. If you notice, all of these people that he's complaining about, except for Newsom, are people of color. Oh my God. You're such a racist piece of shit.
Our city was getting scorched. And instead of fireproofing their state, California today held a special legislative session and Trump-proofed it. Newsom just approved $50 million to resist Trump. $25 million is going to protect Biden migrants from being deported.
Okay, so the migrants cost it too. I knew they were going to do that. Knew they were going to do it.
Illegal alien caught with a blowtorch, lighting a neighborhood on fire, Juan. Newsom is going to spend millions of dollars to stop us from deporting Blowtorch Juan, who you're not going to believe what his excuse was for having the blowtorch. He said it was lighting up a joint. Now Newsom's calling for a Marshall Plan to rebuild LA, so the city will be ready for the Olympics.
With this rebuilding effort needing to take place, is LA going to be ready for all of those global events?
My humble position, and it's not just being naively optimistic, that only reinforces the imperative moving quickly, doing in the spirit of collaboration and cooperation. That's why we're already organizing a Marshall Plan. We already have a team looking and reimagining LA 2.0.
You just said you're organizing a Marshall Plan for the rebuilding of California. What is that Marshall Plan? Tell us about this Marshall Plan.
We're just starting to lay out. I mean, we're still fighting these fires.
Do you trust Gavin to rebuild LA?
Yes, I do.
He never built a single resident.
Yes, I do. Blowtorch Juan, exactly. This piece of shit right here is as racist as they come. And I'm calling you a racist, okay? And I saw this, and I wanted you guys to see this because let me stop. Okay.
Reservoir, a high-speed rail. They couldn't even build evacuation roads because bureaucrats sued to stop a pea plant from being stepped on.
Like I stated, Japan has reinforced when they have all of these earthquakes. Their buildings sway. They don't come down. California needs the same shit. But because the cost they're not going to do it. And then they're going to be doing all of these deregulations. This shit is crazy. Good morning, my sister.
A pea plant.
It's racism. Exactly.
The only thing Gavin built was a $2 million toilet. These are the guys who think they can control the Earth's temperature, but they can't even control a fire in their own backyard.
Really?
Did you know before the 1800s, California lost about 4 million acres a year to fires? But when Americans arrived, they managed the land intelligently. And by the end of the last century, California only lost 250,000 acres a year to fires. But in the last 4 years, California is back to losing millions and millions of acres a year to wildfires. Their stupidity has literally set California back centuries. The state that's fighting global warming the hardest is creating the most emissions. What do you think a week of this wildfire smoke is doing to the atmosphere? It's basic common sense. Fireproof the power lines, clean up the underbrush, let cattle and sheep graze there, store more water, and fix the fire department.
Fix the fire
and the
department.
water czar. Liberalism is going up in smoke because it doesn't solve problems. It just creates them by imposing radical ideology on everything. The central promise of liberalism is if you give liberals enough money and power, they'll create utopia.
Got you.
But voters have given liberals all of the money and power in California, a supermajority, and it's literally on fire. Really? So California has to fire these politicians and hire someone else. Trump's heading to LA after he's inaugurated, and he won't be focused on ideology. He's a developer. He just wants to get things done.
Oh, he's a
Will the LA City Council let him?
I'm ready for him. We'll be excited to see him here. To be in Pacific Palisades here in the city of Los Angeles, the San Fernando Valley.
Of course you are. He didn't give you not one position on his cabinet. You're such an asshole. Okay.
And Pasadena, Altadena. We hope that he comes soon before the 20th. And I know that the mayor and the governor are working on that. And so we're very excited to see him here.
Liberalism is destroying paradise.
Oh, my God.
If Americans can just work together, we can get results. But we can't throw money at California without demanding they change their behavior. We can't be tearing down civilization and then rebuilding it over and over and over again. Primetime is going to continue.
Let me just stop this. So oh my God. So it's a natural disaster. It was by winds that they haven't seen in how many years that keep spreading these fires. So you're telling me that when the earthquakes hit California, that's Governor Newsom's fault too, right? Right? When flooding takes place or hurricanes come in, and when Puerto Rico was damn near fucking destroyed, whose fault was that? Trump was in office. Whose fault was that? I heard this shit and I was like, is he fucking kidding me? Is he kidding me? I'm just like, okay, I've had enough. We have the new 90 days that's coming up. Oh, what did she get? Thank you, sister. Where did you get the kumquats from? Oh my God, sister, where did you get the kumquats from? And I see you've been picking off a tree. Sister, where did you get this from? Oh my God. I saw someone sent me that and I cannot find it right now. But this shit is disgusting. Disgusting of what he's saying. You're blaming a fire on a black mayor who went to Africa, on the water who is of it's because of DEI. I love kumquats. I love kumquats. And they don't, I don't get those here. Oh, you tell your customer she can send me some. Go to Rebel HQ. Hold on a second. Let me go to Rebel HQ. Let me see what's going on. Which one am I looking for? Okay, hold on. I have it. Is that the woman? Hold on, be quiet. Are we talking about the one from 10 hours ago? Are we talking about the one from 10 hours ago? A kumquat, hold on, let me show you guys this. A kumquat is between is sweet and sour. That's those little small things are kumquats. Those are kumquats. Well, sister, you got to go pluck some stuff off, okay? It's going to be laying on the ground. Okay, let's see what she has to say. Hold on, guys. And then we're going to talk about the new cast from 90 Day Fiancé. Let's take a look at this.
I would like to report a murder. Hello everybody, David Schuster here. Elizabeth May, Canadian Member of Parliament, leader of the Green Party, just delivered one of the most brutal takedowns of Donald Trump you will ever see. The bloodletting happened during a news conference broadcast on CPAC, Canada's version of C-SPAN in the United States.
Newsflash, Donald Trump, we are not aspiring to be a 51st state. We are already a sovereign country. We are a nation. And anytime anyone looks around the world for the top 10 places to live, Canada's in the top half of the top 10, always. The United States? Never. Even the U.S. News and World Report, which puts together such a list, looks at things like affordability, access to health care, safe streets. Where do you want to live? Canada.
May was just getting started. She brought up Donald Trump's recent social media post where he wrote, "Oh, Canada," with this AI-generated triumphant photo.
No matter how many Trump photos of him in business suits striding a Swiss mountain he posts with a Canadian flag, we're not intimidated.
Yes, that is the Matterhorn in Switzerland.
People who know Trump in business deals say this is his tactic before negotiation. Humiliation, business approach. Okay, so I take offense. We do not strive to be the 51st state. We're a G7 country. We are part of the world as an independent, sovereign nation. Comme Canada, nous sommes déjà une nation, nation fière.
When May went back to English, she addressed Trump's recent suggestions about who in Canada should try to become the next Canadian Prime Minister.
I have so many great friends. One of them is the great one.
No one likes
Wayne Gretzky. I said, run for Prime Minister. You'll win it'll take 2 seconds.
Wayne Gretzky? I mean, he's great. He is the great one. He skates to where the puck is going. It's not going to MAGA. The puck is on a Canadian ice rink. And by the way, Mr. Trump, please, before making public pronouncements that Wayne Gretzky should run for Prime Minister, give yourself or get yourself a briefing on the nature of parliamentary democracy, a Westminster parliamentary system, and a constitutional monarchy where no one runs for Prime Minister. We have elections for members of parliament. We don't get to pick and choose among our billionaire friends for who gets a seat at the cabinet table.
Ooh, damn.
If they're not an elected member of parliament, well, Canadian system is different from that of the United States of America. I suggest that Mr. Trump find one of his grandchildren's school books and look at the year 1776, which may explain a few things to him about why our systems of government are different.
Ouch.
Damn!
May then delivered her coup de grace. That French phrase means death blow to end the suffering of a severely wounded person or animal. May twisted the knife by turning the tables on Trump's idea of territorial expansion and annexation. Watch.
Hey, Donald, have we got a deal for you? You think we want to be the 51st state? Nah, but maybe California would like to be the 11th province.
Damn!
How about it? California, Oregon, Washington, you've got geography in common with us. And not only that, we've already got a carbon trading system between California and Quebec. We've got some strong alliances on our west coast from British Columbia.
Yep.
There's been a lot of academic papers on the idea of Cascadia. So California, Governor Newsom, and Washington State, Jay Inslee, and newly elected Governor of Oregon, Tina Kotek. How about it? Want to put a referendum to your citizens? Because this is what you deal. Have we got a deal for you? This is what you get. Free health care. Universal free health care. No more 1-year-olds who suddenly fall off the Medicaid list and their parents are in the news because they're trying to do a GoFundMe so they can get their daughter to a doctor.
Damn!
Yes, that story has been in the news in the United States.
Universal free health care. And guess what? Those gun laws that your Congress is too afraid to pass because of the national gun lobby, we already got our strict gun laws. That's why we have the safest streets around the world, or at least in the United States, by the way, the most recent stats, 5.9 out of every 100,000 people is killed in a fatal gun incident.
Damn.
Versus 0.88 per 100,000 in Canada.
Damn.
That's because we have strict gun laws. California citizens, Oregon, Washington, safer streets. Here we already have good gun laws, and women have a right to an abortion under our universal health care system. But,
Let's go to
we don't have to
Canada.
stop there. Donald, think about it.
I'm close.
You could get rid of all these states that always vote Democrat. You know what else will take Bernie Sanders off your hands? Proud new Canadian citizen of the great province of Vermont. Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. We'd love to see you. Our maritime provinces already have deep, deep links and ties. Well, enough kidding around. But honestly, President Trump, get used to it. Canada is a sovereign nation full of, guess what, proud Canadians. We're not jingoistic. We don't boast a lot. That's one of the things we kind of have in common with Jimmy Carter. We're not a big nation for braggarts and bullies.
Ooh.
We actually like to think we're of service in the world. We could do better. We can always do better.
Sister, let's go.
But we love our country. And it's a country. It's a nation. And we do not aspire to be a 51st state. So let's not hear that anymore. If it was a joke, it was never funny. And it ends now.
Elizabeth May. She represents a federal electoral district in British Columbia, Canada. Clearly, she is not somebody to be messed with.
No, she's not.
For the record, a polling company recently asked Canadians...
Okay. Girl, we've been living in the wrong country. I got to go over there. Montreal is clean. I mean, Canada, Ottawa, they're clean. Ontario, clean. Streets, clean. Oh, my goodness. Donald, I don't think you want to fuck with her. I really don't think you want to play with her at all. So when Debbie and I did the recap Monday night, we forgot to mention something, and I had it written down of this little bitch boy, Adnan, talking about he doesn't want to kill anyone. And I don't know if anybody caught when he said that when he hits Tiger Lily, not if he hits, when he hits her. Yeah, we've been living in the wrong country. It's time to move, sister. We were talking about moving states. It's time to move countries. Shit. I am shocked. And did we not hear that Michelle Obama is not going to attend Trump's inauguration? Did anybody else hear that? Yeah, Adnan needs to go. See, that's the thing. They don't want a woman to run this country. They don't. They don't, because she will probably get more accomplished than any man that has ever held that office. Think about it. Whether it's black woman, a white woman, an Indian woman, a woman holds together a family. A woman is the one that does the budgeting. A woman takes care of everything. The man takes care of the outside. The woman takes care of the inside. She makes sure everything keeps running. They don't want a woman to be president. Why? What? She would put all these men to shame. You heard that too, Aesops. It's a disgrace to MLK Day. January 20th is, it is MLK Day, isn't it? It is MLK Day. But you don't want a woman to run this country. And now they're talking about, what's his name? Luigi, George's boyfriend. There's a few people that put on a hoodie and I'm going to say they need to have solid evidence that Luigi committed this crime. Because they need solid evidence. Solid evidence. And the Abercrombie and Finch, all this bullshit that's going on, they're out on bail. More people are coming forward. And then I saw a video with, what's his name? Diddy riding a little mini bike in jail. I was like, is this real or is this AI generated? No, it was real. Exactly, Zelda. Exactly. You're exactly right. But they don't look at it like that. They don't. And when I'm seeing all of this dumb shit on the news, I hate to say dumb, because you don't know who to trust or believe anymore when you're listening to these news reports. Some of these news reports are saying that 24 people have died in these California blaze. Some of them are saying 16. You're not getting an accurate count. And Debbie was right when you, and then they had Newsom that responded to Trump. And it's all this whole political thing. I don't like you. You're not going to tell me how to run my state. You may be the president. And no one is working together at all. And they have this, hold on. They have the body cam video from the night. And sister, I'm glad you're here. 2 days ago, they released more footage out of New Orleans from that night of that attack. Notice how we're not hearing any more about what happened in New Orleans. We're not hearing any more about what happened in Vegas. He was riding a mini bike in jail. I'm going to see, can I find that real quick? He was riding a mini bike in jail. And I'm like, this cannot be real. Here's the footage. Nola Strong, baby. Nola Strong. Hold on, let me get this.
New Orleans terror attack, the youngest of the victims in that tragedy, was laid to rest on Saturday. The injured police officers are now out of the hospital. This comes as new body camera video from the night of the attack shows a glimpse of how they reacted during the New Year's Day incident. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
2 police officers involved in the shootout with the man behind the deadly New Year's Day terror attack in New Orleans, now home from the hospital tonight. Their recovery comes as New Orleans police released an edited, dramatic body camera video showing 42-year-old suspect Shamsud Din Jabbar immediately opening fire on officers just moments after he plowed through a crowd on Bourbon Street, killing 14 and injuring dozens. In the nearly 12-second clip of the encounter, officers ordered Jabbar to surrender before a barrage of gunshots erupt. One slow-motion clip shows the suspect's hand and the deployed airbag. Inside that white pickup truck, flammable liquid seen here in photos first obtained by ABC News. Officials fearing Jabbar's deadly rampage could have been worse had he been able to detonate those homemade explosive devices found nearby.
Officers are trained for shoot scenarios like that. They are highly trained. And that's what you saw. These are split-second decisions.
The Louisiana Attorney General announcing a full investigation into any operational security failures that day.
Morgan Norwood reporting there. Louisiana is now enlisting the help of former NYPD Police Commissioner Bill Bratton. The New Orleans mayor says city employees will receive safety training from federal partners ahead of major events like Mardi Gras and the Super Bowl.
The New Orleans mayor. The New Orleans mayor. Hold on. Let me get you P. Diddy here. P. Diddy. Hold on. Riding dirt. Oh, it's a dirt bike. I'm sorry. Now, first I thought it was a joke. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. He's in the jail riding a bike. You have no idea. Hold on, sister, he caught, did you guys see that? He caught a train, so he took Amtrak, scoped out the French Quarters, and tried to get another house on Orleans Avenue. Okay, because we haven't heard, well, at least I haven't heard anything since all of this. And when I was checking, I saw they released some new footage, but it's not all over the news like it was when it happened. Okay, it's not all over the news like when it first happened. So he scoped it out, and they were trying to say that, you know, these conspiracy theories were saying that he knew of an attack that was about to happen and he was on his way to stop it. Bullshit. Okay, drop the link. Hold on a second, sister. Let me send this to you. Hold on. Let me get it. Okay, I have it. Let me drop it for you. All right, there's the link. So he is riding a dirt bike. I don't know if it's the jail cameras or whatever, but how did he get that privilege in there? What the fuck is going on behind bars here? Now, there is his name is Adam Muckler. This firefighter confronted Elon Musk, and he dropped from that whole conversation. All right, sister, I dropped it for you. Are you able to get it? So I'm going to drop that link for you guys to go watch this because, yeah, I'm not going to play it, but you have Elon Musk, I guess, who thinks he's co-president. Yeah, okay. So prisoners get a tablet, okay? If you watch TikTok, you have a lot of these prisoners that are on TikTok in their cells. I didn't think they had access to the internet, but they do have tablets. Nope, he's not buying TikTok. He put that to rest. He is not purchasing TikTok. They had a certain date in December. Was it the beginning of December? He's not buying TikTok. And then while I'm waiting for my sister, let me just show you what. Hold on a second. Let me just show you. And you know what? Everything you see now on YouTube is like Fox News says, "Hi, Vault. Good morning." So, I wanted to, Cooch, I didn't know that you went live yesterday. I'm going to watch your live because I hear that Geneva, whatever her name is, was talking shit about me on Reddit. So I dropped the link for her and anybody else that wanted to come up and say what they had to say to me. I just dropped the link for my sister too. She's not got here yet. Oh, there she is. Wait a minute. Okay, sister, can you come back? I saw her and then she dropped. Okay, there she goes. Hold on. No video. Okay, sister, I have you. Good morning.
Good morning. Hey.
Hey, what's going on, baby?
No, they put some more news. The FBI released some news yesterday, and they were saying that they showed his picture. He caught an Amtrak train from Houston to New Orleans. He scoped out they showed him walking now. He was walking in the French Quarters. He scoped out all the balconies. They had on his computer that he researched all our shootings in New Orleans and how Mardi Gras is in New Orleans. Then he went on Orleans Avenue and filled out an application to rent a house on Orleans Avenue. The landlord reported, but he called the landlord back and told him that he didn't want it. So he was down here like 2-3 months before on a train scoping out our murder system, how they be shooting.
Okay.
All the shooting in the French Quarters, he scoped out all that, girl. They got all that new footage of him off of his computer.
So how come they're not?
So he's been down here.
Okay, so how
Hey,
come
y'all, miss y'all too.
How come we don't see this on the national news too?
Yeah, you gotta Google it. Google Channel 8 News this morning and last night. They're gonna show it. They showed it this morning before I left, and they showed it last night. I miss you too. Hey y'all. They showed it this morning and last night. Put it on Channel 8 News. And girl, that's all the new stuff. They showed him, girl, walking around the French Quarters, girl, looking at all the balconies, girl. So he was trying to blow up the balconies and everything. He was trying to see, or then he Googled one of them out of town countries and seeing how they did it. They did it driving through.
Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it. Okay. Hold on. Let me share it. I don't believe I had to search for this shit. Seriously?
Yes.
Here we go.
Man responsible for the Bourbon Street terror attack researched Mardi Gras, balconies on Bourbon, and shootings in the city. Good evening, I'm John Snell.
And I'm Meg Gatto. Agents say Shamsuddin Jabbar researched the city until just hours before he drove into crowds on Bourbon Street.
Oh my God!
Sun reports nearly 24 more people were injured than originally thought.
They are perfect party perches, iconic symbols of the French Quarter, and a new FBI report shows that New Year's Day terrorist Shamsuddin Jabbar had more than a passing interest in wrought iron balconies.
What we know now is that he had been targeting the city of New Orleans for months leading up to New Year's Eve, that he had done his research.
The FBI's initial review of Jabbar's electronics shows that he searched for information on a recent terror attack in Germany and on how to access Bourbon Street balconies, as well as Mardi Gras.
Not surprised at all. We've known forever that Mardi Gras is a soft target.
The FBI report also includes a new image taken of Jabbar on a visit he made to Bourbon Street on November 10th after taking a train from Houston to Union Passenger Terminal and inquiring about an apartment on Orleans Street.
He inquired about renting an apartment in the city of New Orleans. So what that told me is the FBI has in fact cracked open his phone.
The report also says that Jabbar became a more devout Muslim in 2022 when he began isolating himself from society. Then in the spring of 2024, the FBI says Jabbar began following extremist views.
His intention was to inflict mass casualties in the city of New Orleans. If it wasn't on Bourbon Street driving his car, it was going to be someplace else.
The FBI has now identified at least 57 individuals who were physically injured in the attack, in addition to 14 deceased victims. They also say a total of 136 victims have been identified, including 2 businesses that suffered damages. But many other French Quarter businesses have suffered.
It's really, you can see, it's really slow. So all the business owners are hurting, the artists are hurting.
With Mardi Gras now gaining federal Tier 1 security status, our Mardi Gras expert says there will likely be some changes as to how we conduct Carnival this time around.
I mean, you can assume there'll be bomb-sniffing dogs in formation areas going up on floats and all. But again, it's the things we don't see that they don't want us to know about, or the bad guys to know about, that may make us the safest.
Artists like Chris Peterson are worried as he sets up shop next to Archer barriers that he says are rarely deployed, and on this day protected just one side of Bourbon Street.
Yeah, they're only doing it on the correct traffic flow, which doesn't make sense to me, because if a bad guy wants to get in, he doesn't follow the traffic rules.
And they say lives and livelihoods depend on security decisions. We should learn more about those shortly. The FBI continues to ask anyone with information or video of the incident to reach out. We have
so he was scoping. He was there on a mission.
Yes. Yes. So it could have been, if it wasn't Bourbon, it could have been Canal Street. It could have been St. Charles Street, anywhere where he seen a lot of traffic. So he came down here. His purpose wasn't just to get Bourbon Street. His purpose, he was just scoping around, but he was trying to see if he should get it that day, Mardi Gras day, or Super Bowl day. So he didn't know what day to do it. Because if he really wanted to act and he really knew what he was doing, he could have waited for Mardi Gras, dummy.
He could have waited for Mardi Gras. Like I said, the Super Bowl is there. If you want to see, and that's what I kept saying, it didn't make any sense why he did it at that time of morning when everybody was basically heading, to other places. You went to the casino to get your car. And there was a shooting there.
Yep. So my thing is, if he would have, this is how I say that he is an amateur, because first of all, why would you have the switches to the bombs in the cab of your truck, not on the seat of the truck where you're located? That way, if anything took place, you could have pressed them buttons first before you crashed them people. So you are the amateur, because thank the Lord that he didn't do it like that, because where we were standing at in Jackson Square, that's where one of the bombs was planted at. Stupid dummy. So I still don't believe in the FBI, because I'm still trying to find out in one of them videos, who was he waving at? Before he left that cooler, he was waving at someone. He was on his phone before he left that cooler, and he was waving at someone. And out the clear blue, someone just dragged the cooler to the next corner. Who was the person that grabbed that cooler and dragged it to the next corner? And why did they touch the cooler and drag it to the next corner? That's what I want to know. And you're not giving us the answer that we want to know, FBI.
Yeah, so I wanted you guys to see this one again. Hold on. Go ahead, too, because I don't have any sound. You can go ahead and keep talking.
Oh, that's the one with the police is running and got shot?
Yeah, I turned the sound off. There he goes, around that police car. Look at these people. He let go her hand.
Yes. So at the end of the day, it's like the FBI, like the man said, Kennedy, the Kennedy man that everybody can't stand. Even though he said he want answers and he's going to get the answers and he don't want nobody to beat around the bush, the FBI, we want to know everything. We still have questions down here of who was he waving at? When y'all got all these cameras showing everything, show who he was waving at.
Wait a minute. Who is that on the bike? Is that him?
That's him on the bike. Let me see where. Let me see.
Hold on.
Because he got them glasses on the bike. He got some glasses on.
That's him. Hold on. Let me put the sound on.
down the street on a bike. And look here, you can see on EarthCam video uncovered by WWL Louisiana as Jabbar rides right through the live stream at 4:25 p.m. That catches him at the intersection of St. Peter and Bourbon, but he does eventually ride down Royal Street and get to Canal Street at Camp. That's where we see him turn from Canal onto Charter Street, recording on Meta glasses as he goes. At 4:54 p.m., he's spotted on security camera in the 900 block of Charters, a pretty full cruise of the quarter, 2 months before the attack.
Jabbar visited again November 10th, though we don't have video of that trip or know what he did while in town. We are able to track many of Jabbar's movements on December 31st in the hours before.
Oh my God, too.
At 12:39 a.m., a Ring doorbell captures the truck used in the attack with coolers in the bed, turning off North Rampart Street onto Governor Nichols. The FBI says he parked nearby, and at 1:12 a.m., he's seen walking toward Bourbon Street. You can see him here in a trench coat walking in the 800 block of Governor Nichols. Jabbar makes his way onto Bourbon Street at 1:48 a.m. That's where he's seen on video rolling one cooler we now know was full of explosives. You can see just how big the crowds were as EarthCam was streaming live on Facebook at that very minute, with Jabbar just a few feet out of frame. And another angle from the FBI at 1:53 a.m. shows him a little closer to St. Peter Street, where the FBI says he left the cooler. He waves and turns around and walks back in the direction of Governor Nichols.
So it's now just before 2 a.m. Jabbar has parked his car somewhere near this intersection, has walked onto Bourbon Street, placed his first bomb, and is now walking back to the area where the truck was parked.
That's where he's seen again, walking down Governor Nichols toward his parked truck. Photos from a different angle released by the FBI show him in more detail. And 4 minutes later, at 2:07, he passes the house again, back in the direction of Bourbon Street, empty-handed. But Jabbar isn't done. At 2:20, he's spotted back on Bourbon with a second cooler. The FBI says he places it at Bourbon and Toulouse. While any photos of Jabbar on the EarthCam site have been taken down.
Now, this isn't crowded. To tell them that's not crowded.
No, because everybody, 12 o'clock, everybody was disappearing, going in different places.
Yeah, so that's not crowded.
You do see the first cooler in this angle, which is pointed down Bourbon toward Governor Nichols. There are crowds just inches away from the explosives. And we know at some point before the attack, the cooler is rolled almost a full block. You can see it here at Bourbon and Orleans.
No video or photos of Jabbar have been made public that account for the time.
If you got all of this and this is being monitored in real time, why didn't they grab these coolers then and try to find him?
That's the thing. The thing is, I don't understand. Well, I know everybody partying and doing what they're doing, but me, if I see an empty cooler sitting on the sidewalk on a corner and I'm passing by it, that looks suspicious to me if they ain't got nobody standing next to that cooler. That is suspicious down because ain't nobody going to leave a random cooler because you know why? A homeless person or somebody else going to take it and think they got beer or liquor in it.
Yep.
That's suspicious to me. Hey, how you doing, Michelle? So that's suspicious to me. So I don't understand that, period. But I want to know who dragged the cooler to the next corner. They're not telling us that. They just said some person dragged the cooler to the next corner. So they dragged it to the next corner. So you're telling me they never looked in that cooler and see that there was a bomb in there and didn't report it? Something is not right.
Yeah, something isn't making sense.
I'm between 2:20 a.m. and 3:16 a.m.
That's when surveillance video from Canal Street shows his truck headed north, then make a right on Bourbon at exactly 3:17:04 a.m. He tears down Bourbon, passing in front of Crystal at 3:17:13 as people run for their lives. A fraction of a second later, the first call goes into dispatch.
I need EMS at Canal and Bourbon now. Canal and Bourbon now.
And by 3:17:41, just 37 seconds after turning off of Canal, Jabbar had crashed and police had surrounded him, guns drawn. He destroyed and ended lives for 2.5 blocks before it all ended near Conti Street. At this point, the 2 bombs he had placed were at Bourbon and Orleans and Bourbon and Toulouse. Police officers are positioned between those 2 spots, and they're seen on EarthCam running toward the scene, running toward the sound of gunfire.
Oh my goodness.
3:17:45, NOPD engaged in an 8-second shootout, ending Jabbar's 37-second rampage that he had planned for months to be much worse. Much worse, because as police are clearing Bourbon Street, the first cooler Jabbar left is still at Bourbon and Orleans. In the hours before sunrise, it's moved from the street, but you can see officers then taking a closer look at something on the sidewalk. Then more officers respond, and at 3:44,
2500 to headquarters. Raise me a bomb dog or explosive device dog.
Later, the FBI released a photo of that cooler at this very spot.
And we continue to honor the lives of those 14 victims taken in last week's attack with a different day dedicated to each person. Today we honor William Billy DeMeo. The New Jersey account executive was just 25 years old. His family described Billy as a natural leader with a rare soul. His funeral was Wednesday. Another young victim of the Bourbon Street terrorist attack was laid to rest today. Nakaira Dito was only 18 and had hopes of becoming a registered nurse. A few hundred came to pay their respects in Gulfport. Many wore pink, which was her favorite color. Friends say she was a happy, loving, cheerful person who always wanted to make everyone smile. Over the weekend, other victims will also be laid to rest. Tomorrow morning in Roseland, Reggie Hunter will be remembered beginning at 10. Also at 10, visitation will begin for Nicole Perez at Jacob & Son Funeral Home on Canal Street. Then at 11 o'clock, friends and family will gather at Archbishop Shaw Gymnasium in honor of Hubert Gothrow. And tomorrow afternoon at 2, Matthew Tenadorio's loved ones will come together at Audubon Funeral Home in Slidell. And Sunday, a funeral will be held for Drew Dauphin in his hometown of Montgomery, Alabama. And to help all of those victims, Dillard University is hosting a benefit concert at the Georges Auditorium from noon to 4. Several local musicians are taking part, and mental health professionals will also be on site. Admission is free, but donations are encouraged. And you can find more ways to help on your website, WWLTV.com, as well as our app and social media
my mom
pages.
Went to Dillard. Oh my God. Thank you, too. I didn't even know all of this had been released because I hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah, all that been released last night. The FBI released that more footage about him catching a train down here. So he been down here multiple times. And like I said, I think he been down here before that. I think people not coming forward because they don't want to be involved in it. But I think he was dating people and everything else down here. I'm telling you, he was maneuvering around, dating people and getting to know people. But when he went on Orleans Avenue and he seen all them thugs that live on Orleans Avenue, that what made him change his mind. That's why he went in that district down that way where all the good people at in Maryland, you know what I'm saying, to go and rent that Airbnb. You know what I'm saying? That's why he went there. But yeah, he could have did a lot of damage if he would have had them switches on his seat. When he crashed, he could have hit them switches while he had it on his seat instead of in his trunk.
Yep. So he was plotting. Oh my God.
Yeah, he was plotting. He was gonna plot either Super Bowl or Mardi Gras, but it just so happened, I don't know what switched it where he plotted that day in that time of night. Like they say, they want to know why 3-something at night, and he could have did it at 12 when it was jam-packed, everybody trying to bring in the New Year's at 12 o'clock. That just didn't make no sense to me. I don't know what stalled him, what happened, but he could have did a lot of damage at midnight.
He did a lot of damage at midnight. And that's what I said. Why would you do it that? Because people are heading out. You were down by Jefferson Square. A lot of people were in that area where he... See, that doesn't make any... If you wanted to do the most... well, her name is Tutu. Yeah, that's what we call her, Tutu. Always call her Tutu. That's not. I. You know what? Since I was. See, she just started calling me Heidi because they all call me Heidi. Because my sister couldn't pronounce my name, but that's not funny, but yeah, okay, Edith. I hate calling you Edith. Tutu. Okay, Tutu.
Yeah. I hate Edith. I hate you to call me Edith. I only want people on the jobs to call me that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, but that's the latest. But I think as days go, sister, more and more people gonna start coming out saying, that they seen him, where he was here, he was there, different ballrooms. I'm quite sure he was in these ballrooms, inside these ballrooms when he was down here. So, I think as days go, people are going to start coming out their shell. They don't want to say nothing now, because the interrogation is just so, they ask you this for a whole week. You just in a room getting question. And I understand that. But people don't want to be involved like that. You know what I'm saying? But they're going to start coming out saying more and more as days go. It's
But let
more
me
to
ask
it.
you this question. We see that him waving. Do you think he was waving at the camera and not at someone? Because he had been up and down Bourbon, checking it out and scoping it out. Do you think he was waving at a camera and not at someone, and not at a particular person?
Now they were saying that also, that he was waving at the camera, I guess, to see if the camera's working and they see him leaving that cooler there. I don't know. But my thing is, we have them security cameras all over where they still have people watching them cameras. So my thing is, if he was waving at that camera and he left that cooler there, whose responsibility was that to watch them cameras and see that a cooler is left on the sidewalk where he waved at? That was a red flag for you to get out there and get some help or send people down there.
Exactly. That's what I'm asking, because that seems kind of weird that you're waving.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird to me. I just don't get it, and I'm still trying to find out who moved the cooler, and did they look in that cooler when they moved in that cooler? It's just crazy. But I'm glad we were safe. I'm glad that everything turned out. I'm sorry for the life that was lost. I'm sorry for the life that's still in the hospital. But I'm just so glad that that bomb didn't go off where we was at, because a lot of people would have got trampede stamped on and everything, and they say it was full of nails and stuff. It would have been a tragedy right there.
Yeah,
But where we was at, we tucked ourselves inside like a building. You know how the window sills are made in the French Quarters?
Yeah.
We was in the window sill, like on the concrete where this is the sidewalk. We inside the window sill standing. That way, I told him, if anybody starts stampeding and crowding or fighting or anything, we won't be in the way. We inside the
we
window
never
sill.
stand in the street. We're always like on a little catty corner or by the iron gates or something. Yeah, we never do all of that. Hi, Mustang Mike. But Pam even said it looks like he was waving at the camera, because he was waving. It was like he was looking at his phone, seeing where the camera was, and then he looked up and just started waving. I don't think he was waving at anyone in particular.
So he probably had some kind of thing on his phone where he was waving. You know what he was doing? There, because Lou have it on his phone. Lou have it where when we walk in the French Quarters, he had this thing that he pull up on his phone, and we could see ourselves on the camera.
Yeah.
In this corner we standing on,
That's what he
we
was
could see
looking at.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he was waving and looking at his phone to see if he could see himself waving at that camera.
Okay, that's what he was doing. Okay.
We had that in the French Quarters where if you're in the French
looked down
Quarters,
at his phone, and then he
you can
looked
see
up
yourself
and he
live.
started waving.
You can see yourself live. Yeah, Lou have that app too, where you can go into that app and see yourself live in the French Quarters.
Well, I don't think I want to see myself live in the French Quarters. I've already got enough time in the French Quarters yet. I don't need to see myself live in the French Quarter. So everything should be secure for Mardi Gras then, because they said that the FBI is going to be down there.
Well, we had them, and we had National Guards down here, so fingers crossed. But you know what? I'm gonna be up here. I'm gonna be up here by the job. You know what I'm saying? So fingers crossed. I don't want to be nowhere down that way. You know that.
Second line this past Sunday, I saw the second line. Right, I'm watching this shit. I said, let me see my sister in this goddamn crowd of people. I said, I'm looking for you and Lou. I'm like, let her ass be out there, because they have. Lord have mercy.
We was parked on 700 and Broad, though. Me, Lou, Lavondra, Nicole, all us was together, but my car was right here, and we was like sitting on my
you
car.
weren't doing no more second line, sister.
We wasn't, but that was the big one in the 7 wall, so we had to go. It was a big one, but it rained. It rained.
I was watching it. I said, I know she's not out here, but I know when I woke up that morning, I got a message and it said, is your sister okay? I'm like, what the hell? And then I checked. I said, Lord have mercy. Yep, her ass was
Thank
probably
you,
out there. I
Michelle.
called you. And I said, were you out there? We had just left. Oh my God. Damn.
But that's why I showed you. I was telling you, we had left. Everybody was, when we left Jacksonville, everybody was turning right, going on Canal Street to Bourbon, and me and him kept going. And we went to the parking lot, and then we get in the parking garage, and he just shot a boy in his head and killed him in the parking garage. So either way it go, we wasn't going home no time soon. From 12 o'clock to 3 in the morning, we made it home at 3 in the morning because they killed somebody in the parking lot. I'm like, we can't win for losing.
Yeah, but the damn second lines, they're fun. And I know when I was down there, they were doing the second line. They're fun, but we were ducked into a little corner. We went to eat, and then, that traffic was bad. But it is, but I'm like, who's going to be shooting down at a second line?
The enemies. That's why the one that happened Sunday. The girls was fighting this. The girls was out there fighting this Sunday, and they was macing each other and got busted in the head with bottles, girls. So they ended it. They act a fool everywhere they go.
Oh, sister.
It's like you can't stay inside forever. Okay, I went to church. We went out. Fine. But if I stay inside all day long, I would lose my mind. I would go crazy. So you just have to watch your surroundings everywhere you go. You just can't stay inside and block everything, okay? I can't. I just cannot live my life like staying inside. Just like when the terrorists happened. I went out there for the second line out there. I went out there and
I showed you a video that
the
you
army that they
videoed.
had,
Yep,
and I mean it was so eerie. It was so eerie out there, and it was so scary out there because you could smell, even though they cleaned the French Quarters, it just smelled like so much death. And every time you walk, you see a flower of a memorial of somebody, and I was like, oh, I got to go. I started catching anxiety. I was like, I got to go back on Canal Street. I can't do Bourbon right now. I can't do it. It smelled like it just was horrible. It was just I can't imagine. I can't describe the smell, but it was like wrong, like spirits everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I had to get out of
there. The bar where we normally go get the oysters at and Hard Rock. He was right there.
Yes, he was at the Walgreens, right? He started running over people at Walgreens and made his way all the way down to 3 blocks after the Hard Rock. So Saturday we all supposed to be going to Felix to eat oysters. I don't even know how I'm gonna do it because it just feels, me and Lou go walk down Bourbon Street every Friday.
Yeah.
We go to Harrods, we go down Bourbon Street first, then we go to Harrods. I don't know if I can go to Felix and eat the oysters because all the donation is going towards the victim family. So that's what we all going down there for. But I don't know if I could do it. I don't know.
I was like, wait a minute. I go, Hard Rock is here. The oyster bar we go to, I was like, God damn. And he was close to the swamp. I'm looking at this shit. I'm like, oh my God. That could have been us down there. That could have been people we knew down there because we're always in the same spots. Our nephew would have been down there, except for he's in Houston. It's just scary.
Patrick hanging in the French Quarter. I'm so glad that he's not by me because if he was by me, that's where he would have been at. He be in the French Quarters like that, late
all
like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's just, I don't know, but I just pray for everybody that who it was. And, now the people in the French Quarter are losing business. You know what I'm saying? These people are hurting.
Yeah.
They're picking up Gail Benson. She did a good thing. She donated what? $1 billion?
Yep.
To everybody. So I don't know, but I hope it get better. But I'm not gonna sit in fear.
Look, what is your mayor doing besides trying to get more money?
She ain't nothing she could do because the governor is doing too much. So now they're having a meeting today with the governor. They're pissed off with the governor. So they voted him in. So let them handle it. I don't have nothing to do with that. That's on them. Let them handle. They voted him in. So all the ones that voted him in, let them handle all that. We know how to survive. When Katrina hit and killed many more people, we bounced back. We know how to survive. We're gonna bounce back like we're doing now, and we know how to survive down here. I'm not gonna let nobody defeat me and let me stay inside and all this drama. Ain't gonna do it. No, not gonna do it. But
well,
it's whatever.
Yep, you just worry me when you're down in all these crowds of people. But you know, I can't talk because I'm not only down there in the crowds too, and don't even be worried about it because we've never had all of this. And now it's like you're thinking twice about going out with all these people because on Fat Tuesday is the day. That is the day. Zulu rides, Rex riding. I mean, that is the day.
I'm gonna catch it right on up here, right up here, where it's safe.
Yeah.
My back is against the wall. The chairs are against the wall, and we're not in a crowd. You feel what I'm saying? It's bad when you're in the crowd.
Because we caught Zulu on Canal one time, and there were DJs out there. People were sharing. They had coolers all over the place. People were walking by, opening coolers, taking beers, whatever. That's the kind of atmosphere I'm used to in New Orleans for Mardi Gras.
But guess what? You cannot bring a cooler out there. You cannot have a barbecue pit out there. You cannot bring tents out there. No portable bathrooms. Nothing.
Are you
They
serious?
changed nothing no more. The only thing you could bring is that fold up chair, and you might could bring one of them little small coolers, like what you put your food in and stuff like that, and carry your beer. No more hand coolers. No more barbecue pits. No more tents. No more bathrooms. Nothing.
Oh my God.
It's over for all of them. It's the good have to suffer for the bad.
No more porta potties. None of that stuff can be on the street.
The only porta potties they're gonna have is with the city put out there.
Okay.
Nobody else rent. You know how every year they buy their own porta potties and rent them out and tell people
in the area where they're at. Yep.
No more. No more tents. No more big old sofas and all that they bring out there. Nothing. It's over with.
Yeah, because we have a party inside the party, and these people would bring like the porta potties. They would rope off the area for their guests, and oh my God, none of that no more.
It's done. It's done.
Okay.
So it's a new chapter now, baby. So when you come down, it's a new chapter.
We will see, girl. Ooh, okay.
So just let y'all all know when y'all come, and if y'all dreams are coming to the French Quarter to Mardi Gras, don't let nothing like that stop it, because that's what they want. They want you to live in fear. We're not going to live in fear. We're going to keep going to our Mardi Gras. We're going to keep walking down. Well, when I get the guts to walk down, Bourbon, because right now it's very scary to me. It's not scary for the terrorists. It's scary because I walked on that street knowing that these people was dead on these streets like this. So, and then the feeling when you walk in there is like a cold spirit feeling. When soon as you turn that corner,
yeah, you told me that. You said
it was horrible. Really I couldn't do it, and I wanted to bring my sage out there, and I left my sage. But when I got home, I saged myself from head to toe because it was just so scary. Like the spirits was everywhere. It was just bad. It was bad. It's a bad feeling out there right now. So, but I'm gonna drop down back in the chat. Y'all have a good day.
Okay, thank you for giving us the update, baby. Love you.
No problem. Love you too.
Beautiful. I love your hair.
This is a lemon.
You know what? Oh, your nails are pretty too. I love your hair. But yeah, you better tell that woman that brought you. I need some kumquats, damn it. Okay.
I will. And these are tangerine.
Yes. Oh, you've been okay.
Thank you. I got a whole bowl of somebody that love me. Bye.
Yeah, okay, you better watch because she's gonna poison you. Love you. Bye, sister. All right, guys. Let me just show you this. I'm putting it at the end because I'm gonna tell you why. TLC is gonna hit me, but I want you guys to see the new people that's gonna be on 90 Day Fiance. We have some new couples. We have some returning couples. So I'm putting it at the end so I can just take it on out. But I wanted you to see, let's meet the cast for the 90 day, for the new 90 Day Fiance. Okay, here we go. So we have.
Say, I got hit by the Cupid arrow right away.
They have a throuple, another female. She's from Mexico, and they're gonna bring her in. So I said they should be on Seeking Sister Wives or whatever, but they're on 90 Day Fiance. This is the new season. Those are the couples that are going to be on. So I wanted to show you guys that before I got out of here. But a number could we have, but if you're going to take your daughter, girl. Take your daughter to New Orleans. It's probably safer than ever right now. But I will, yes, Miss Sweet Tooth J, February 16th. But I think we're moving to Canada. And I want to say thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Cooch, I am going to go watch your live right now. And I'm not sure. Jen, I unsubscribed and resubscribed to your channel because I wasn't getting your notifications. You be live for like 40 minutes and then I get a notification that you're live. So yesterday I unsubscribed and resubscribed again. I didn't even get Cooch's notification at all. I found out she was live last night after I had a phone call. So I would definitely go watch her live to see what was going on. But I'm going to be out of here. You guys have a great day. As you can hear, I sound better. I didn't do all that coughing like I'm normally doing. My voice is getting stronger. My ear is just still clogged up. Heidi, I'm coming to camp. Well, I'm more than likely, nothing. I'll see. I made myself a promise, and I'm going to see. But anyway, okay, you don't get Jen's either. So what you do is go and unsubscribe and then resubscribe again. That's what I did, and I'm going to see if that works. If you go, just call Hazel Eyes. Hit her up. But anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Have a great, great day. And I really enjoyed my live with you guys this morning. I will talk at you later. Bye. Julie, I can't drive to you because you're straight above me. I can definitely drive to you. You're right. You're straight. You're on top of me. I can definitely drive straight up to you. It's like 8 hours, I do believe. No, 6.5. But I'll see you guys later. Bye.